Welcome back to the Damn Weichselbaum Show. My name is Tim Weichselbaum, and this is my podcast. I never know how to start these things, and it always comes out as just like this fucking balloon of talking and just this fucking horrible introduction of nonsense. Hey, okay, we got through it. We got through the nonsense portion of the intro. It's been a long time since I've used these muscles, you know. I was just doing some karaoke to warm up for this. I have not been out of the house for so long that I'm starting to get this bottled up feeling of like this person inside of me like trying to come out. I feel like a new person literal, sorry to like accentuate so much. Okay, let's just talk normal. Okay. I feel like yesterday or like a couple days ago, a new person like came into my body. And I don't mean figuratively like in the commercials. Like when you see medication commercials and they go, I'm a different person. I'm the person the fucking medicine helped me be a new person or some shit like that. Well, that's not how I feel. I feel like somebody entered my body from the ether that was like just floating around. Like now it's in this body and is bored as fuck. Like it's like, what? This is the body I have to be in? So it's like now I'm like all moving around and shit. In doing the podcast because I'm a new person, literally a new fucking soul came into my body and was like, dude, this is what you do all day? You just fucking sit around and code and like look at stocks? That's your life? You just listen to the news? You just watch Fox News like an old man, like a stereotypical old white guy from the South who beats his wife and calls people that's your freaking life? I don't know. I feel like that's how like consciousness works. I feel like it just goes pew, pew, pew. I feel like it just kind of flies or like goes from body to body. And those, you know, the thing running the body, that's what's conscious. The thing that makes you is not the consciousness. Okay, here's what I'm trying to break down. Here's what I'm getting at. I've talked about this before. It's the thought that we're all just one collective we're all just one collective conscious in different bodies, you know? So if we switch bodies with somebody, nothing really happens. I mean, you do notice something subtle. Like I noticed that I am a different person inhabiting this body because I'm all of a sudden interested in different things. Like it just, like I felt it happen too. Like I was just sitting on my computer and like you just get this feeling of like slight vertigo. You just feel like mystified. Like, whoa, where am I? Have I always been here? Where the fuck? You just feel like, okay, I know that I've been here this whole time, but like this weird, like, blue, like you just feel like you've just kind of been like, more made to be aware of like, I don't know. So like I switched. So a new soul is currently in my body, and it made me want to like be more exuberant. It made me want to go back to old behaviors. And one of those old behaviors is, I guess, stand-up comedy, like trying to be funny, trying to have like trying to like express yourself. I think that's what I've been bottling up. So that's what I've been doing. I've been bottling up a part of my soul. This is where we are getting to starting to get physical or metaphysical. This is where we are starting to get a little more not literal. I don't know, who cares? Like, I do literally feel like I did transmit my soul as some other loser. Now I'm a shell. So, like, I don't know. So now some other person on the opposite, who knows where, has my previous soul, and they're just doing absolutely nothing. They're just being a neat. They're just watching YouTube videos, which is fine. It's the transition between... You could tell, see, I knew I was due for like a change of bodies, of souls, of spirit, whatever you want to call it, because I was getting like very, something had to give. I was getting bored of the self that I was being. I was allowing myself to only do certain things. I was only doing very like businessy type things, or investing, finance. I wasn't trying to be funny, and I wasn't trying to express my inner self. That is what makes me unique as an individual. And if you bottle that up and you don't let yourself contrast your personality with other people's and see how you're unique, and you're going to feel enslaved if you aren't allowed to express that part of you. And so I feel bad for politicians that can't express themselves how they really want to express themselves. Anyway, so I haven't been going out because I've been trying very hard, successfully, I might add, to just delete that part of myself, to just be like, you know what? Even though that's why you moved here and that's what you deep down are good at, even though that's what you are probably meant to be doing in the grand scheme of things, whatever the fuck the phrase is, you're meant to be a comedian because you're like, I don't know, I just have like this feeling of like, this is what you're meant to be doing. And even though that's the case, I've been like being like, no, fuck, I don't want to do that though. Like the passion goes away after if you're not getting the return on investment that you, whatever. So that's why, I haven't not been pursuing anything of that nature that has to do with externalizing my goal. Like stand-up would be a goal. Becoming a stand-up comedian is a goal that I at one point told myself that I had on this pod. I was like, I got the passion back or whatever. But then the next fucking day, a week later, I go, oh yeah, that was a week ago. I'm no longer interested. It only takes a freaking day for me to go, oh no, that's gay. But it was going good. Like I was on a stretch where I was going out like every freaking day for like a month, just driving back and forth and getting really good at like knowing where to park and like. Anyway, but then you get burned out, and then it's like, well, I don't want to even think about that. Like, let alone do it every day or even at all. So that's how my brain works. I get super saturated on one topic, on one goal, and then I go, and then I don't know, something happens, and then I go, okay, I need to now recede from, like I did the Kill Tonys. I think that was, I don't know, that was like a thing that I felt like, okay, I achieved something there. I got on there and did okay. Now I have to, now what? The next step was obvious. There was nothing to think about. It was do Kill Tony again. Write new joke. Write a new minute for Kill Tony. But it just never this was in May when I last did it. That's a long time ago now. That's like fucking like 5 months ago or some shit. I don't know. Close enough to that. Yeah, almost. Yeah. Anyway, so it's like, well, yeah, that would be the thing to do. But it's like, what if I guess I'm just like, I don't want to. I feel like I don't want to. So I didn't do that. Cause it's like, I don't have anything new, and it's like, I don't feel like it. I'm not enjoying the process of, like, the process of going to open mics and building material is not fun to do, really, in Austin as it was in Chicago. For a couple of reasons, just like the logistics of getting there is just not as fun. And as you get older, it gets more brutal just by the comparing yourself to others. It's like, oh, this guy is just starting a week ago, and I'm started 10 years ago. Anyway, so it's like, yeah, fuck that. But anyway, but that's what I would do, and that's what I did. I've done that. I did it. And I kind of am starting to get that itch again to do something to prove that I'm not even to prove anything, for my own, just to be like, this is the point of why I'm here. This is fun. It's fun to express yourself in ways that other people can't, it's unique to you. I can only go so long without watering that flower, and it's not a flower that's ever going to just completely vanish. It's not going to die, and it's like other things will go away, like my ability to tolerate certain people will definitely go away in time. As I get older, things go away. You can't teach a dog new tricks, and you get more bigoted as you get older. So like the wavelength, like just like the shit that I could vibe to is going to drop off. But stand up, it's always going to be something. I have this like guttural, just this fucking innate feeling, urge that I want to fucking do, even at a shitty open mic in front of comics. It doesn't matter. It's the point of just being able, the freedom of it in the expression. It's not about the career chase and status, clout chase and whatever. It's not about that for me. But then it becomes about that when you start doing it regularly. That's the thing. I go, oh fuck, I'm not as, that's the thing. If I'm not getting paid money, it's like, okay, what am I getting out of it? If it's purely for the hobby, I'm not gonna do it every fucking day. I'm gonna do it for many months I'm gonna go without doing it for a long time if it's not paying me real money or social currency, which it wasn't in Austin. It's not. It takes a long time to rub, and everybody sucks. Like nobody's that good at it either here, or at least to the point where it's like, oh, that guy's so fucking. It's just not. There's a couple comics that were good, but it's like, okay, they're doing their thing. I don't give a fuck. They're not in my circle. They're not like pressure. They're not like twisted my arm. I don't know, man. But I don't give a fuck because I'm happy about it. I'm not like unhappy about it. It's like I know what I should be doing. And that's what the TikTok thing was for, there's always a lofty like plan in my head. It's like, well, but then it fades away and then it goes like, no, I don't care about anything. Anyway, but I do care about this podcast, and this podcast is not going to die. I want to keep doing it for at least another, anyway, to at leore hit the year mark before I give it, because I essentially gave up on it like last week. I was like, why am I still doing that? I don't even look at the result. I don't even care literally if anybody is watching it or anything. But then I was like, yeah, but it's an outlet to yell at people. Oh, okay, so that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so we're only 14 minutes in, and I'm already running out of steam, though, so that maybe I will stop. Maybe this will be the last episode. Okay, episode 45? Yeah. This is episode 45, but I labeled it 44 mistakenly. Anyway, we got a lot of talk about since I last did this, the Queen died. I was sad when I was like, oh, that's sad when it happened. Because you want the Queen to live forever because she's just like an institution. She's like a sign of like whatever. I took it as like a British person would take it, who gives a shit. I have nothing. Okay, Meghan Markle, she is in the news for being black and not being liked by certain people because she's like, she got the guy, she got the redheaded guy, for the dude with red poofy hair, to quit being I don't know, I don't fucking know. He's a simp, and so I like the other one better, I guess. Kate, I like that one better. Kate Middleton. I don't know, because you can't. It's weird to be like, yeah, I'm still part of this thing. I'm still gonna go to the funeral, but I'm the wrong race. There's still people still talk about race a lot. I still think about it a lot. Pretty much every day I think about what's going on race-wise in the world. As long as it's not in my backyard, I don't care. Like, if there's I have a backyard. I was reading because I could. Why did I bring that up? So, the reason I brought that up is that means I could get a fucking big dog if I wanted. Like, I could get a German Shepherd, and I wouldn't even be considered a bad dog owner if I didn't even walk the thing, because it would just be hanging. I would just let it go in the backyard. That'd be cool. I don't know if I want a dog, though. Those things seem like a lot of things you gotta pay for. Like, they just seem expensive. You gotta get them groomed. Forget about it. So the reason I continued doing this podcast after deciding pretty much to stop doing it, the reason I started doing it again is because if I don't have this, I got nothing to show for like what I'm doing. I have no connection to the outside world, and I just need to keep doing it because this is the only chance I have to get laid. If this podcast starts getting 10,000 listeners a week, one out of the 10,000, one of them, not just one of them, but at least one of them will want to bang me, and then out of the 100 that do, out of that 100 would actually have the wherewithal and the gall to email me to be like, hey, but I don't want just like I don't want just unsolicited sex, or I guess that would be solicited. I don't want just like solicited sex. Like, I don't really care about sex right now because I'm on antidepressants that make it take forever to I'll still come on you if that's what you want, but like, don't get too excited it's not going to be exciting. It's just like, you'll get what you wanted. Like, okay, you'll get it, but you got to be, it's like, okay, I'll enjoy it too. But you're not, it's going to be like, okay, this is a lot of him jerking his dick, a lot of like skin moving up and down. Like, he's clearly working harder than he is enjoying himself. Like, this is more exercise than it is relaxing for him. So that's just how it's going to be. So that's not what fuck the sex. But as like, whatever. I choose to be alone. See, that's the thing. I chose to be isolated because anytime I de-isolate myself, I just see people. I get a glimpse. I get like a collective. I just get a sense of how people are, and they're dumb, and I don't want to be around them, and I don't want to contribute to their lives. They're not doing shit for me. They're not paying. They're not You got to pay your fair share. I don't know. I just feel like the concept, like people, mostly women, or just people that have this feeling of like inferiority. They hate the concept of billionaires, and there's people on this planet, the country, that feel that it's like a bad thing to be a billionaire. And I don't know. I get where they're coming from because they go, there's just so much money. It's just too much money for one person to have. And I go, yeah, okay, fair. But to make it where you can't have $1 billion, there's something wrong with that. Like, is it too much money on a practical level? Like, yeah, you don't need that much. But to disallow it, to restrict somebody from having that much, I have a problem with that. I don't know, man. There would be something totalitarian about that I don't like. If that's just like I know that socialism is so fucking popular among a lot of young people these days who just don't want to fucking work. They just feel entitled because they see these small European countries that have more social programs because they have smaller, rich, obviously way higher capita populations. And by high capita, I mean high wealth per capita. I mean high income per capita, that they are able to fund social programs. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's just simple fucking math. If you have a small, rich population, you're going to be able to have an excess of funding for fun programs that you wouldn't have in countries with a lower wealth per capita. It just isn't possible to fund programs or free healthcare in bigger countries with less fucking wealth per capita. It just doesn't. It just whatever. They want an equalizer to just come in. They just want some central government to just be like, no, too much wealth at the top. Take from the top, divvy it down to make it equal. So we're all just fucking equal. Yeah. I don't know why I started talking about this. I just started talking about billionaires. Yeah, I'm pro fucking billionaire, obvious. And then like just the whole feeling of like, I wish everybody wanted everybody to be okay I wish everybody, like I saw some fuck in the same socialist echo chamber. Somebody was like, I would die happy if everybody had the same attitude as me, which is I want everybody that everybody in the world deserves cheap things that we have in our country. Like they felt, well, shouldn't that's just like their mindset. Like everybody should have that mindset that if there's somebody in another country that can't afford cheap food or whatever, something that we have here that they don't have there because it's not developed, they should not be able to sleep at night. Like that's okay, well, okay, Mother Teresa, if you feel so bad that there's kids in Africa starving, go to fucking Africa and feed them. Like if the solution is not anything you're gonna fucking do except for whine about it on the internet about how it would feel good if it was happening, well then you're not helping anybody. And you just look like a douchebag, and you just look like a fucking jerk off who just wants to feel good about himself. There's going to be fucking poor people in other countries. If they're not in our country, why the fuck would I lose sleep over them? There's people in our country that are fucking on the street. You're talking about people in other country? You're talking about, so you're concerned about people in Africa who can't get insulin, but not the people in Idaho who can't afford the insulin? I don't get the thought process. Why don't you go to fucking Idaho? I just don't get why you're worried about people in other countries, why that's the priority. And also the reason it's so cheap in other the reason it's so cheap in other countries is because all they had to do is fucking import it. Didn't have to pay for the fucking people to research it in the fucking first place. They don't gotta pay the salaries of the researchers funding the next generation of insulin. No. I don't know. So it's more, I don't know. I'm just getting into politics. Let's not get into politics. Let's forget about it. Forget about it. Pelosi, though, she's hot. Like, I know that's a weird thing to say because she's 80 and not hot at all, but it's the power that I'm attracted to. I just think it'd be funny if somebody... Never mind. It's not funny now. It was funny a few weeks ago when I first thought about it. I was like, how funny would it be if on TV some dude just goes up to her and tries to have sex with her, but like not rape her, but like, you know, like comes on to her very strong as if she's not like this fucking most powerful woman in the world. Like that's obviously funny to me because sex is the most like power. It's like the most insulting thing you could do to a woman, and it's the most powerful woman in the world. So if for some reason I thought, how funny would it be if like somebody who's not even a fucking politician just goes up to her and just somehow has access to her, you know, like in the fucking January 6th. Like what if one of those fucking Viking guys actually made it, you know, when she was actually in office to her, or not even during a fucking just like in a normal setting. Forget about the insurrection whole thing. What if just somebody was like, just went up to her and just like, hey, you want to have sex? I don't know. For some reason, this just made me laugh my ass off. It's like just some dude in his 40s going like trying to rape Nancy Pelosi. For some reason, that like made me so fucking happy. Because it'd be so out of the fucking left field. Nobody would ever try to do that. Fucking nobody would be like, would ever try to do that. But like she would obviously turn into it, like she would obviously make it into like a victimized thing. Like, but like it would never happen. But like, I don't know, I just thought it'd be funny. Hey, you want to have you? I don't know. I can't do it though. Now it's not funny to me because because it's like so fucked up. Yeah, it's kind of like what Joe Biden did to young women or whatever, like, but without saying it. Like he would just go up to them and start like, you know, rubbing them or whatever, and like, you know, like smelling them. But this is me doing it to Nancy Pelosi as a younger gentleman. And a little more aggressive, but like not like rapey, but like super inappropriate. Like, hey, you want to have sex? Like some like you want to like not say the F word, just be like, you want to have sex? Like something like can you imagine saying that to the fucking Speaker of the House? To go, hey, you want to have sex? Like just the most highly disregard. Just having the most distasteful disregard for her fucking status. Just going up there, hey, you want to have sex with me? I got a big old, ooh, Nancy, you want to have, ugh. I don't know, man. I can't sell it, obviously, but it'd be fucking funny. And so we're going to do a skit. We're going to do, I don't know. Don't steal that from me. Anyway, so what did I want to talk about this week? So one of the reasons I wanted to stop doing this podcast is because the quality is terrible of the content. And so it's like, well, because I see other podcasts that actually have like an audience, and the thing about them that they all have in common is that they have like a topic that they stick to, and that there's actually an audience for. Like there's one that I've been watching on YouTube called Who Is This Podcast? Or Who Are They? I don't fucking know. It's called Who Is That Podcast? Or Who Are They? Whatever. And it just makes fun of shitty podcasts. Like this one would be almost one that's bad enough for them to make fun of if it had any relevance at all. If this podcast had any like following at all, it would probably be like, well, this is horrible. Let's make fun of it. And it's pretty damn good. I think it's called Who Are This Podcast? And they make fun of Stuttering John Melendez from a long time ago, of the early days of Howard Stern. He was big on Howard Stern in the 90s as like a fucking intern. Not as a talent. He was not ever like a showbiz guy. He wasn't ever a writer or anything that takes talent. He was an intern and just answered phone calls and got made fun of on air. But he has a podcast because he doesn't, he tries to like hang on to his past glory from the 90s, from like 30 years ago. And it's pretty fun to just watch people thoroughly just eviscerate somebody like that. And Anthony Cumia is in the mix. And Anthony Cumia is a great fucking radio guy, and he knows how to crack a joke, and he's hilarious and talented. And Opie, I guess, even back then, or 15, how long ago? Geez, at this point, 18 years ago, is when I first heard about Opie and Anthony, is when it was on, and it was when it was big. 2005 is about when I first heard about it. And where am I going with this? I saw it on newgrounds.com. I was 15 years old, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, this Anthony guy, I don't agree with him on his politics. He clearly is like a very like tried and true conservative type, which I was not. But I was like, he's smart and he's fucking funny and he has a good laugh. He knows when to laugh and like set up jokes very fucking well. And this other Opie guy is just an asshole. Like, and it turns out, yeah, that's all he was. He was just an asshole. That's all he contributed. He didn't really contribute much to the joke. But who am I to judge? I mean, I'm not. Would I be better than Opie? Who knows? Probably not. Anyway. But yeah, so that's why I stopped doing this. That's why I took a week off, is because I was shamed away from doing it. It's like, why am I putting out something that is so bad? Who am I to do that? But then it's like, okay, but other people do it that are worse than you, like Stuttering John. His podcast, like, okay, if he could not do it and still do it. And it would be a badge of honor to be made fun of on a different podcast. It would be cool because I actually kind of am able to poke fun at myself. I'm able to laugh at myself. Because like I was talking about earlier, like I'm just a vessel, this body, this fucking like meat puppet in front of you. It's just a body, so I don't really give a shit if somebody makes fun of it. It's not mine. Like, it's mine. Okay, it's mine. Like, I'll take care of it. But the thing inside of it is just passing through. It's just hanging out. And so if I, like, do something wonky, I could remove myself from the situation. I could laugh at it. I don't, like, take it too sacred. But I do have pride, like, some sense of, like, pride. And like I know that I have certain traits that are valuable more than that other people don't have. So I definitely value my certain traits. And I don't look at myself as like a piece of shit all the time. And so anyway, so I was like, yeah, I should do this. So yeah, before I hit the record button on this, I was like, oh, I should do an episode. So I dragged this green screen behind me, and I was like, it takes effort to do this. This takes hours of time to edit, not to edit, but to upload into, who cares? It doesn't take that long, but it takes some modicum of effort. So it's like if it's something's going to take effort, you got to make it worth doing. So anyway, so let's start the episode. Okay, it is 9:17. It is 11:54 p.m. on a Saturday night. And I am your host of this podcast. It is the Tim Weichselbaum. So anyway, the thing I have been focusing on in the past week is my diagnosis. It's my medical, it's my medical mental health. There we go. So we've been talking about how I've been on the antidepressants for a couple months now. It's almost been 2 months. Yeah. And I really can't say if they're helping or not because my problems are my mental problems or my depression is pretty thick. It was a pretty deep thing. But I feel like it is benefiting me a little bit, but I don't know. It's just subtle, and so I don't think serotonin is the main problem. And I am starting to do a little bit more of like work stuff, but there's a dread that is still present right now. It's like, okay, I know I have to do something at some point with my life. I can't just vanquish myself from society. I can't just continue to slide through life in complete isolation. Like something's got to, at some point, something fucked up will happen if I just completely stay isolated. But I don't know. I do feel like there's this extroverted thing in me that wants to come out. The introversion has been satisfied. Now I want to be a little extroverted because like you just feel like so hopeless when you don't have any of that, any community. And I need to build my own community. Yeah, you don't want to be in a toxic community. You don't want to be in one that brings the worst of you. You don't want to be in one that, you want to be in one that brings the best of you out of you. So anyway, so I've not been going out. I've been like, okay, so I've been thinking like serious. I've been getting serious about what I'm going to do to generate actual income. Because if you haven't checked recently, the market has been pretty like bad. Like we're kind of in a recession. We're kind of like going through like a long-term financial struggle. A lot of people, just nothing is good right now. Housing is going down. Anyway, so it's like, okay, I can't just live off fucking crypto. Crypto's in the dump. Nobody believes in crypto. Anyway, an ETH 2.0 came out. That happened. Doesn't really affect me. Nobody cares about the tech behind crypto except for, oh my God, so few people. 1,000 people on the whole planet maybe actually care about the proof of stake thing. I mean, who the hell? So what am I doing to try to generate income? Well, so far, nothing. I'm working towards a goal. Not a hard to find goal, but I know that I like developing applications. And I know that I like programming, and that's what developing applications entails, and it usually entails some degree of programming. So let's just get it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I've started working on game development. So I downloaded Unity. I am getting familiar. I'm learning Unity, and I'm very impressed with the capabilities of it. Like it's C#. Like it's a faster language than any language I've ever used to make games. Like it's a modern interface, it's a modern framework that you could do really impressive games in this thing. And it's not that hard to learn. I was making quick progress in it because it's object oriented and like it's based on years of successive improvements making things easier to do that have been done in other games many times over, that they just make it okay. If you want to make a scroll pane, if you want to make a UI that changes colors, like whatever, so many things have been done so many times by other developers that these frameworks have just made it so easy that it's like, okay, I guess I could probably actually finish a game on my own without having to like go crazy and like pay, design, like hire a bunch of people. You don't have to do that. You just buy assets. Anything that you can't do yourself or are not willing to do yourself, you just buy pre-existing assets. And it's really, really, it's really impressive what you could get going in Unity. And I've been fucking obsessed with these idle games, these incremental clicker games that are also called idle games, where you just get incremental rewards of dopamine for waiting. And they're they have some, they're strategic. Like, okay, how do I maximize my time and try to get the highest return on investment for this game that I'm putting time into, which is really just to watch a number go up. That's all the game is. It's just watching a number go up in clever ways to slowly trick your brain into why that's valuable to do. Clicker, what is it called? Like cookie clickers is one example. NGU Idle is one I've been playing for literally like the past 2 years, every day. Just every time I'm at my computer, I'm just checking this game every like fucking minute. It's been consuming me for fucking 2 years straight, this fucking game. Because you're just always working towards the next fucking gradual goal. That's what it was designed to do. And it was made in Unity. By one person, by one fucking autistic guy like me. And I'm just fucking the sucker, just sitting there clicking and just watching all these meaningless numbers just go up over the course of years, not profiting from it. And why don't I just fucking make games? Why don't I just make my own games that scratch the itch that I'm trying to have scratched? And I'm already learning how to do half of the things that these games do. It's like, oh, okay, that's how you do that. You just make a button. You make it clickable. It's so modular. And it's so fucking rewarding to just learn this new framework. And like once you know Unity, you're a game developer. You could like pretty much every amateur or indie game in the past 10 years at least has been made with Unity. So it's exciting. So like I'm just going to try to put out a couple shitty games. I have the background to be a full-fledged indie game developer. I have programming skills, some degree of art, Photoshop, music. I can make basic music. I could certainly compose music. Like, it's not that hard. It's just I haven't had the energy level, the focus, and the ability to really do it, to sit down and fucking do the work. And so that brings me to the second topic of this episode, which is, what is my problem? What is my mental hang-up? What is the disability? Whatever the fuck you want to call it. What is the condition? It's not just depression. It's not just epilepsy. It's not just, I don't even know. What else did I think of? I thought it was like, I don't know, COVID, like long-term post-COVID symptoms. It's not that. It's not that I just am losing interest in things. I've always been that way. I've always lost interest in things. After gaining some degree of like satisfaction, like once you like, okay, I figured that out. It's like you like, or there's something wrong with my dopamine receptors, or something wrong with my brain that is not allowing me to reach the next level in any hobby, to make it like an actual real, even like fucking things that I've been successful in, like programming in my career. I just didn't want to put in the effort it took to get to the next level, to be like a real fucking career programmer, like having a fucking real benefit paying 401k like office job. I just never had the wherewithal to even try to do that, even though I probably have the talent, or to make myself get to the next level, or any level, let's say, in stand-up, which is to say just to be like a road comic, just to be like an opener comic or feature act. Why have I not wanted to do that? Why don't I try to do that even? Lack of interest. And why do I have a lack of interest after such a short, even though I know I could do something? In game development, I know I can make games. I've made them before. When I was a fucking teenager, I put out many games on Newgrounds. They all sucked, but they got slowly better and better. And the last one I put out ever got sponsored and got hosted on a fucking game site, and it's still up. It's still on the internet on some other website that scooped it up and converted it to HTML5 because Flash is no longer a thing. So anyway, I was a game developer 20 years ago almost, and now I'm just getting back into it, knowing that it's something I've done before. It's like, I'll only be better than I was as a teenager, I think. But why do I have low expectations? Like, I don't see myself putting out like a huge game. Why do I see myself moving on to something else? It's because I know myself. I have ADD. It's known now as ADHD. ADD it's not a thing. ADHD. So I was diagnosed. This is one of the few things in life I've actually been diagnosed with is ADD. I was diagnosed with it as a child. I don't even remember how young I was. I think I was in middle school. Yeah, I think maybe about 6th grade, or even maybe younger, 5th grade, is when I first got on the pills. It was Concerta and then Adderall. It was different times, too. I remember multiple times I was prescribed that motherfucking shit. In high school, I distinctly remember taking the Adderall, and then just feeling this unequivocated sense of unprecedented sense of like, I'm just going to be so fucking focused. I'm going to fucking murder this fucking school. I'm going to be the best freshman. Was this freshman year that I thought? Yeah, because I had no motivation to do any schoolwork by default. But then when I got on the Adderall, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to do so fucking good on this fucking homework. And I did that week. And then it wore off, and I was like, ugh, these pills make me depressed. And like you grow a tolerance. I don't know how the fuck you could be on Adderall every single day. But I want it back again. I need it. It's like I didn't take it serious. I thought like, oh, whatever. Adderall is just something they give to kids who don't like school. And now I'm an adult, and I'm still feeling like I can't focus on real work that needs to be done. I've always had that problem with programming. That's a pretty fucking involved thing that you got to pay attention to. So like you got to kind of like really like have some ability to focus to be a programmer, and to do that you need dopamine. Like you need to be paid the dopamine reward for doing so. And I don't get that reward by default. I don't have that ability. Same with the stand-up. You need the ability to like fucking actually like at some time of the day consolidate your jokes and look at them and build them and like fucking work on your jokes. And I never have that fucking desire or ability to just sit down and consolidate. It's like homework. So I need Adderall. It's like it would actually help me because like people who have ADHD, it calms them down. It gives them that. So I've been self-medicating that with weed for the past, 15 years. Just been smoking. Like I need, like without weed, I would not have been able to work a job. A programming, like not any job, but like a real job. I needed to smoke weed every time I did any programming for years and years and years. And I don't know, I don't think weed is the best medicine for ADHD. It motivates you, but it motivates you to do more than just one thing at a time. It's like, oh man, I should be doing this and this. It motivates you for sure, but then it fades away. Adderall lasts longer and you could stay rigidly focused on just one minute thing, and you get paid dividends for paying attention. So in addition to the Zoloft, I think I need some Vyvanse or whatever the next one is, Adderall, until enough of a trial period of me complaining and saying, you know what, these side effects from the Adderall are killing me, but I need it to focus on my hard work. So just give me methamphetamine. So we'll get there. We'll work towards that. You don't want to become a meth head. I'm not just going to get meth on the street. Because I want to know what the dosage is, and like I don't want to just become a meth head. So we're gonna work towards that. We're gonna be like, okay, this meth. Now the meth is what I needed. I really need it. Okay, so those are the two big topics that we wanted to cover. And because like I'm programming a fucking game right now. I'm learning Unity, and a lot of what is in game development is not just making the actual like game itself, but it's making the fucking UI. That takes fucking more time than the actual game logic itself. It's just figuring out how to make these little panels show up when you click on the little gear icon. Okay, here's a hamburger button, and then it shows a sub menu, and you gotta have a scroll pane within the sub menu, and it's pretty goddamn convoluted when you're just making it. And you got to make it look good on every screen. So there's a lot of like periphery shit to learn in game development to make your game good to play for the user. You want the user to have a good user experience. And I'm pretty good at the attention to detail for like little things to make things like high quality in that regard. I don't know if the actual game itself will be playable or fun. The concept is not fully fleshed out yet. It's basically just, okay, travel as far as possible in the universe. Just the amount of distance traveled is the main metric of success in the game. And so you're just traveling closer and closer to the speed of light. And as you approach the speed of light, the amount of energy increases that is needed to accelerate more and more. It's a logarithmic, it's a exponential thing. And as you get closer and closer to the speed of light, time dilates. So that means that if you're traveling like, 0.999 C, everything's going to seem the same for you, but then people on Earth, time is going to be going by way faster for them compared to you. So if you go back to Earth after traveling for like, a day, it'll be like, well, wait, how did 6 years go by or whatever? 5 weeks. How did 5 weeks go by? I was only gone for an hour. It's like, yeah, but you were gone like 0.999. So that'll be just one of the concepts that show you how fast you're going. It's like, oh, you're going this fast. Congrats. All your relatives are dead forever and ever. I don't know. And then it'll just be like, okay, you've made it to this far. Let's see, like now get to this far. Alpha Centauri, leave the galaxy, leave the solar system, leave the universe, whatever. It'll just become, okay, it'll have goals. Like, okay, the first goal is to just speed up your engines to upgrade your ship to the point where it's to where you can reach the fucking moon. So it'll have these little goals that walk you through it and hold your hand at first. Like, okay, which upgrades do you want to focus on and all that? And we'll see. I don't know where it'll go, if it'll be fun or worthwhile, but that doesn't matter. If I'm actually going to release it, I don't know. It's my first game in 15 years. My first Unity game. It's a PC game, but it could be released on anything. But it's going pretty well. Like, I'm impressed with how I'm actually able to like build out the features that I'm envisioning. Like, it's like, oh, that's how you do that. That's how you build an options menu. That's how you build that's how you make like a thing that clones. If you need more of something, you make a prefab. And then you have these settings that are applied to it. And it allows you to do pretty goddamn complex things that you have to learn the basis for. But once you learn the basics, it's like, oh, that's how you do that. You could make things dynamically conform to your vision. You could create anything in this. So it's exciting like that. You could make anything you want. So the only thing stopping it is the time it takes to build it out. It's not am I smart enough? It's just the time. And so I'll find out if my game ideas are actually good or not. Because I have the skills to bring them to life. And I can make 3D games with this as well. It's just crazy that I got all these games that I've been obsessed with for so long. I put so many hours into. Like Soft Rink is one that was. There's this game that I've put like 400 hours of my life into, and that was made in Unity. It's like, I should probably just start making my own games, and maybe that'll turn into a money making thing. But if not, I'm learning a variable skill. You gotta be learning skills, man. Like, at least because eventually I will probably want to return to stand-up. Like, I do technically have a show booked next month, and I'm not gonna fucking cancel. Like, even if I don't do stand-up for 2 months, who gives a shit? The worst it could be is like, I'll just fucking wing it and make it happen. Like, I'm still, even me at my worst, all I gotta do is believe in myself, and I'm funnier than most people. Isn't that fucking crazy? Like, me, the only reason I'm not feeling funny is because I'm not feeling funny. If I'm feeling funny, I'll be funny. I don't need anyone else to tell me when I'm being funny or not. It's like, oh, yeah, do that. It's like, yeah, I know. So it's like, yeah, I could just fuck around through. I could just jerk off my way through this set. That's what TJ Miller does. That's what a lot of good comics do. They just jerk off their way through this. I don't know. So obviously I'm starting to miss comedy because I'm talking about it. And if I didn't care about it, I wouldn't talk about it. I don't care if I wouldn't be sad about never doing it again if I didn't want to do it again. But I want to do it again. It's part of who I am. It's rewarding, and it gives you like a framework of peers. It gives you a peer group, and then you get you also feel like a loser when you got nothing going on. So anyway, so that's what I've been doing. So I've been trying to get some. So that's the check-in. I hope you all feel like I have checked you guys into my life. My life is currently in a transitory period of me trying to get a new job, and I'm self-employed. So, this is a very lucky opportunity that I'm in to be able to just fucking take as much time as I want to just like fucking make a game that might not even be released, but just learning a new skill that is a marketable skill. Not everybody has that luxury. Like if I had kids running around with their diapers and shit, do you think I could just fucking fuck off and make a game? About flying a half a centaur and breaking the speed of light or reaching this fucking trying to get to the speed. You think I could just fuck off and be a game developer? An indie game developer? If I had fucking kids yucking and jucking around up here in the air? No, I would not. I would not be able to do that. So that's where I'm at right now. And so we're going to keep on doing this podcast. This has been episode 45. I can't believe it. I was 45 times. I've never done anything 45 times in my life. The only thing I've ever done 45 times as consistently is things that are addictive. Like smoke weed, jerk off, stand-up comedy. That's it, baby. You gotta make things addictive if that you're trying to become your dreams. You can't reach your dreams if your dreams don't have what... You gotta make what your dreams are addictive. If you make what becoming your dreams, if you make what chasing your dreams is a habit, or no. Here, let me get it out. If you make what chasing your dreams is an addiction, then the odds are in your favor. That's my quote for you tonight. That's my weekly quote. If you make what your dreams, if you make what chasing your dreams are a habit, if you make what it takes to chase your dreams an addiction, that is one healthy addiction that could lead you to jerking off on a supermodel's face someday. Get it? I hope I don't have to explain more of what that means. Just what I mean by that is don't just chase your dreams blindly and expect it to work out. You can't just track through it. You got to enjoy the process of what becomes you to that dream in the first place. If you don't love doing what that dream entails, you ain't going to reach that fucking dream, cocksucker. Bye.